Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about plan Bs. So, if you're somebody, especially if you're somebody who has big dreams like myself, like if your dream in life, if you want to do something that's, let's say, really hard to do for a living, you know what I mean? Like something that a lot of people want, something that a lot of people fight for. If there's a lot of competition, whatever, like for instance, I wanted to make it. I wanted to make it. I want to make it in the entertainment industry. Like I want to do so many things related to the entertainment industry. Like I want to do it, you know what I mean? And I want to be a content creator, and I want to do it for a living, and I want to do public speaking. Like I want to be a public figure, and I want to entertain people. Like that's what I feel like I was put in this world to do. And but sometimes it's hard, you know what I mean? Like I went to college and I have a degree, and I recently graduated, and I could not juggle it, you know what I mean? And not to talk too much about myself, but lately college degrees have become a little bit shorter, and now they're 4 years instead of five. And me, since I got in college, I was like, well, it's not 5 years anymore, it's just 4 years. That's perfect. 4 years, and that's it. I can do whatever I want. But because it was really hard for me to juggle content with college. But the thing about 4 year degrees is that you have to complement it with something, and usually what that something is a master's degree. And I never wanted to do a master's degree. I made a video on why I'm doing a master's degree, even though I don't want to do it. I always, like there's all these motivational speakers, and there's all these people on the internet that tell you like why you should like drop out of college and do this and that, or why you should follow your dreams and why you should go for it and stuff like that. It's not that simple. I know that a lot of you guys are probably can't afford having a lifestyle where it's like, okay, I'm going to pursue my dreams like 24/7. Like maybe you need to have a job or two jobs or three jobs to pay rent or whatever, or to help your family members like pay rent or whatever. Like I know that for a lot of people it's not that easy. And for me, luckily I'm not in that situation, but school is really stressful anyway. And I ended up prioritizing school over content, much to my regret, because I wanted to get school done. I was like, okay, I want a degree. Maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe it's a plan B. Call it whatever you want. But I wanted a degree. And I was like, if I want to do a degree, I'm going to have to prioritize it. And then I can do whatever I want. And then I was like, then I'm going to get a job, whatever. And then I'll focus on my dreams or whatever when I get out of, out of work. And, or when I leave work. And it wasn't like that. I was looking for jobs, and I was offered a few jobs, but they weren't good jobs. Like the timetables weren't great. And also, like, usually what happens is that you can be in a company for 2 3 years, 4 years, or whatever. And I mean, who knows? You may last 4 years in that company, you may last 10, you never know. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be more, like a job used to be more secure before, and it's not as secure anymore. Now it's more like, okay, I work in this company for a while, and then I work on this other company, and then on this other company. You know what I mean? It's more like that. And I was like, if I'm going to be working in a company, I don't really like it, and then I'm going to be laid off, and then like, because I know a lot of people because I studied business admin, right? And so I know a lot of people who are having jobs right now, and I think that I realized that a lot of these people that already have jobs, at some point in their lives, they're going to have to go back to school, and they're going to have to do a master's degree. Otherwise, they can't. It's not that easy to get promoted or to get a job where you're not going to be, let's say, exploited or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you need, apart from having a degree, maybe you need an expertise or like a deeper like training or knowledge or on whatever it is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's bureaucracy. You know what I mean? It's a title that you need to get a job, whatever. And um and I was like, well, I prefer to get it done right now, and then I don't have to do anything school related again. I mean, I've never discarded a doctorate, because I was like, well, if I'm going to do a master's degree, I might as well do a doctorate. I mean, never say never, but I want to follow my dreams like full time, not full time, but like after work, like when I get out of the master's degree and get a job, whatever. Like that's when I'm going to have more time, you know what I mean? Cuz I the thing about studying is that, I mean, I'm talking about school too much, but you know what I mean? When you study, it's like you have to be studying all the time, whatever. But when you go to work, it's like, unless you're like a teacher or whatever, or a researcher, like you can just spend, you know what I mean? Like you go to work, and then you leave work, and you don't have to worry about it until the next day. You don't have to do anything else. For a lot of jobs, it's like that. And that was my idea. But anyway, I was like, if this is my plan B, why am I investing so much time? Why am I investing 5 years of my life, and I'm not even making content? I can't even juggle it. I can't even put out content or anything. Like, why am I doing this to myself? It's not even my plan A, it's my plan B. Like, and I know that if I can work hard, I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it is, I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I'm not saying it's going to happen in 3 months. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that, did I just spit? Like, did you just see my spit? Anyway, so, I mean, who knows when somebody's going to make it, how long it's going to take, whatever, when I'm going to figure it out, whatever. But the thing is, I knew that I wanted to do this, and I didn't want, you know what I mean? Like, you need a plan B. Like, in the meantime, who knows how long it's going to take for you to do it. And I wanted to have a good job or a decent job or whatever. And I'm doing a master's degree in accounting because that's what gets you a job. And I know that a master's degree in accounting and knowledge in business or whatever is going to be useful for me, whether I'm doing my plan A or my plan B. You know what I mean? I know that in my plan A, it's gonna be useful because it's gonna be like, okay, I know about this thing, so like I can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to rely on all these people. Like, if I build my own company or whatever, like, I don't have to rely on all these people, and then I have no idea, or I have to take a class, or I have to, have them explain everything to me. Whereas if I have like knowledge on the subject, I'm like, well, I know what you guys are talking about. Like, I know exactly what this is. You know what I mean? And it's really, I don't know, it's insane, but like, you can actually learn a lot from theory, but you can learn a lot. And but I never really fully believed it, and I sort of like victimized myself because I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I just want to make my dreams come true, and who cares? You know what I mean? Like, school will always be there, whatever. And recently, like, I've been like, now I feel more convinced, not more convinced, but like convinced. Like, if I was ever convinced, like, I feel more strongly convinced. You know what I mean? Like, a stronger, like, convinced in a stronger way. Because I recently, a few days ago, I don't remember when it was, I was watching this interview. Andrew Ross Sorkin was interviewing Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. And I think it was Kris Jenner who said that you need a plan B in life. Like, okay, maybe you want to do social media for a living, maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do that, but you need a plan B. You know what I mean? You need to have, I think she said, a company or whatever. I mean, sometimes for a lot of people, a company is a plan B, and then something else can be the what? A company can be a plan A, and then, did I say plan B? Well, anyway, a company can be your plan A, and something else can be your plan B. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, maybe you don't know when you're gonna make it. You don't know anything, and you don't want to be relying on your parents or your family members or your friends to, pay rent for you, and you're not making money at all for a long time. I mean, you also need to make money to fund your projects, whatever project that is. So, and you don't want to feel useless because it's like, okay, I'm fighting really hard to follow my dreams. Nothing's coming up. Like, I see no results right now, and I'm not even making money because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, or all I get is shitty jobs or whatever. And that's going to make you more and more depressed. And in my case, like, if I want to be an entertainer, like, if you're not in the mood, it's going to be a lot harder. Maybe it's not impossible, but it's going to be a lot harder. Like, how do I want to make other people happy? And how do I want to entertain if I'm going to be miserable with my life? So I was more convinced. I was like, well, yeah. And also, Kim Kardashian is studying, or maybe she finished studying. I don't know. I'm not sure. But she's studying, or she studied law. So I was like, okay, if Kim Kardashian is in college, why shouldn't I be in college? You know what I mean? And I was like, well, I think a business degree, master's degree in accounting is all right. Or even if I had done the opposite, like a degree in accounting and then an MBA or whatever, like, I'm fine with either one. And I think that it's a really cool combination. I think it gives you a lot of knowledge. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm more convinced now. I was like, okay, if these people who are successful, they know that there's a lot of people out there who are trying and they're not making it, and it's really hard for them, and it's going to probably take them years, to make a decent living out of making content, or from making content. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they know, so I was like, okay, like, who knows when I'm gonna make it or whatever, but I want to sleep well at night, and I want to know that, even if it's not happening, I can get a good job because I have an education. You know what I mean? I have a degree, and I also have this master's degree, which I feel like I shouldn't need, but sadly in this world, for some things, for certain things, you need it. And I mean, accounting is not something that I'm like, oh my god, that's super fun, like, I'm passionate about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more passionate about marketing, but there isn't that much employment for marketing, and I think it's important to know the numbers of a company, like, especially if you want to build your own. Like, marketing, anybody can learn marketing with a book or with whatever, or just through making content. You can learn a lot about marketing without actually studying it, so by just seeing other people do things and then doing it. So I was like, well, I think it's good knowledge. I think it's going to be useful whatever I do. And it's not necessarily the easiest thing ever, but I think it's practical, and I think it's going to be useful for me, whether it's plan A or plan B. And the Kardashians said that you need a plan B, and even Kim Kardashian is in college. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I think now I'm finally convinced. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm going to try to juggle content, and I'm going to get this master's degree. And it's just 1 year. Whatever you do, especially if it's your plan B, especially if it's something you're not passionate about, try to spend the least amount of time you can doing it. Like, I have a lot of friends who are doing master's degrees of 2 years. Like, there's even, I mean, it depends on the country. Because, like, for instance, like where I live, the bachelor's degrees are 4 years. And then the master's degrees, supposedly you can get a master's degree of a year and a half, 2 years, like depends on what you want. But a lot of the times people ask, like, especially in each country, like there was a professor that told us, like, a lot of people, like in the education system of each country, they're like, okay, should we do bachelor's degrees of 4 years and then a master's degree of 1, or should we do bachelor's degrees that are 3 years and then master's degrees that are 2 years? Like, for instance, in Poland, and I don't know if it's in the Netherlands, I don't know, but in countries like Poland, let's say, master's degrees, no, not business degrees, but like degrees in general, they are 3 years, and then you do master's degrees of 2 years. You know what I mean? So it's 5 years anyway. And I think there's other countries where they do that too. And like I've seen people that would do, bachelor's of 3 years and then master's of 3 years, and it's like, dude, 6 years. 6 years is medicine, at least in Europe. Like, what the heck are you doing? You know what I mean? And I have friends who have done, who were in class with me. We did a degree of 4 years, and then they're doing a master's degree of 2 years. Of 2 years. You want to study for another 2 years? No, no, no. I'm sorry. I don't know to what extent it's helpful. Like, if it's really your passion, if it's really what you want to do, if you actually like studying, if you enjoy that lifestyle, like the university life, the university student life, whatever, like, you can do whatever you want. But if you're somebody like me who, I'm responsible with school. I am. But if you don't like studying, like if you know you hate it with your entire physical being, do not spend more time than you quote unquote need. You know what I mean? Like, if you can do a master's degree of 1 year, do the master's degree that is 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, do something that you like, but make it 1 year. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, not too passionate about accounting. It's not something that I'm like, oh my god, I love this. This is my favorite thing ever. But I like it, and it's entertaining, and it's useful. Like, I like it. You know what I mean? I don't dislike it. And it's entertaining when you know about it and when you're doing the things. So, and it's not too complicated. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like physics or anything like that. So, yeah. So, I ended up talking too much about myself. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is have a plan B. And have a plan B that can be good, because if you don't make it with plan A, your plan B needs to be good. Because otherwise you're going to be really bitter, and you're going to be like, my life is shit because I didn't make it in my plan B. I never had one, or it's really shitty. So as much as you can, try to invest in a plan A and invest in a plan B, and try to balance between the two. Like, plan A has to be great, like live your best life, but plan B has to be very decent. You know what I mean? Like, in case plan A fails or whatever happens, like, you need to have a good plan B, you know? And so yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I hope this was useful to you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.